when I click on this button over here, my button, in the property bar, now when I click on the shape tool and I have nodes, I can move these nodes and completely edit this object by moving these nodes whichever way I want to. And I can bend lines. Now, that looks kind of a mess. But what I can do is when I come in here on this straight line and left click one time, there's a little black dot that appears right there. Let me change the color of this so you can see that dot. Now, if I click one time, let's go to the shape tool. Click one time on the line. Up here in the property bar, again it changes. So, first one is convert curve to line. The one that's grayed out is convert line to curve. Then we have make node a cusp, and it goes on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend this line. I'm going to bend whatever I can. Now see, this one won't bend. It's because I have to click on it first. You see the little black dot. Then select right here where it was grayed out a second ago, convert line to curve. Now I'm able to move it. Now, if you notice, I'm trying to move the line in between this node here and this node here. And what happens is when I try to move one line, this line in between these two nodes moves. And that's not what I want. Now, this is something that happens all the time. I get a lot of questions about how to fix this. Now, remember our marquee select from before. I'm going to do that except with the shape tool. I'm going to marquee select the whole object, which is just like individually selecting each node one at a time. And then when I have all of the object inside the box, I drop it. Now if you notice, all of the nodes on the object are now highlighted. So when I come up to my property bar, I'm going to click on, first of all, convert line to curve, which means it's going to curve in between all these nodes. If they're straight lines, they won't bend until you tell it to curve. But the second thing I need to click on to keep this line from moving when I'm trying to move this line is right here. Make node a cusp. So when you cusp it, the only line that will move will be between this control point and this control point. None of the other lines will move. So as you create nodes, if you're creating an object, as you create them, you may want to cusp the node as you go, or after you've created a kind of a mock-up of the design, come in, marquee select the entire thing, and then tell it to cusp. Then you can come in, now watch. The only thing that moves is between this control point and this control point. When I move this line, that's the only thing that moves. Now, if I want to get rid of this node, easy way to do that is just double click and it deletes it. So I just did a quick little 1-2 click on the node with a left click on the mouse, and now it's just one line, if I click on it, that moves as one piece. Now if I want to create another node, I double click where there is a node to delete it. But if I want to create another one here, I just double click where there is no node. So when I double click now, there's a node. And now you also get these little handles here. But notice I created a new node, and that's what just happened here was something called auto panning. If you take and drag an object too close to the edge of the screen will automatically pan. So I'm going to come over here in the bottom right hand corner and click on the down arrow to bring it back into the center. But as you create new nodes, you have to remember to cusp. That's what I was just talking about. So all you have to do is, after you have created the new node, you can either right click on it with the mouse and select cusp, or come up to the property bar and click. Now these two lines move independently. So just remember, as you create new nodes, you'll have to come back at some point and cusp them so they don't move like they did just a moment ago. So if I want this line to go back to a straight line, it's kind of similar, but instead of telling it to curve, I'm going to click on it one time, so you get my little black dot right on the edge there, and I'm going to come over here and select convert curve to line, and that's just a left click on that button. Now it's a line again. Now I can't come in here and bend that until I tell it to curve again. So now I would have to put a dot to curve, and now I can bend it again. And see, when you get these little handles here, sometimes it's easier to use if you need to get kind of a funky little S kind of a effect in your design. You can use these handles to push and pull in opposite directions. You can drag directly on the line, or you can use the handles. Now, what you have to remember is, as you're creating an object, we're going to get into here in a little while, but you have to remember to have a closed path. If you're creating an object, whether you're hand drawing it and scanning it, or if you're using some of the tools over here, if these two nodes right here were not connected, this would be one big open space. And if I tried to color it with color in my color palette over here, it wouldn't fill. It's kind of like trying to fill a bucket with no bottom. So if you don't have a closed path